I want to talk briefly about the coup update. We regularly talk about what's happened in Washington. The Democrats are just determined to bring forth this impeachment effort. And, regardless of the fact that President Trump hasn't done anything impeachable. And I think actually, I have to tell you, I think more and more people in the country are realizing that. They're kind of waiting to hear from the Democrats. What exactly are you impeaching him on? I think there is just growing recognition. They don't have anything to be talking about. I mean, people hearing what Biden did in the Ukraine, they think somehow one conversation Trump had, and so the left they're on fire trying to push this. So I was just going to hit a couple of quick updates. One is that Nancy Pelosi announced, I think this morning, that they are not going to have an impeachment vote. I think I told you yesterday that Nancy Pelosi had said they were going to go ahead and hold a vote of the whole House on impeachment with the idea that they were going to maybe get this vote done this week. And because she's pushing back against President Trump, whose lawyers sent this 8-page letter we went through a couple days ago, lawyers said, the White House is not cooperating with this impeachment inquiry until the Democrats follow the process and hold a vote for impeachment. The reason, and they don't want to do that. Pelosi doesn't want to do that. The reason I think it's good news that Pelosi said on Monday they were going to hold the vote, and then today or last night said, never mind, they're not. It's good news because what happened was the House was on recess and many Democrats went back to their home districts. I live in a district, if you can believe, I live in a district represented by a Democrat. I know the Democrats went back to their home districts and they asked their constituents, kind of try to, test the waters. What do you think? Should we go ahead and move toward impeachment? And I think that and then they had a caucus meeting after everyone's back in Washington. All these congressmen back and congresswomen met with Nancy Pelosi. And the outcome of that meeting was Pelosi saying, you know what, we're not going to have the vote. She knows that it will hurt her party. She still knows this impeachment effort will hurt her party. She heard back from Democrats who went home to their districts that the people in America are telling their members of Congress, do not do this. It is not justified. Knock it off. So she doesn't want to hold the vote. That was one good thing. Next thing was the Democrats have changed the rules again. They changed. We talked about the 4 different rule changes they made already, made another rule change. So now what they're doing, this entire impeachment process is being done in secret. It's being done by the Democrats behind closed doors with witnesses coming, asking questions, being asked questions and giving testimony, not transparent, not open to the public, not available for President Trump's lawyers to be there, not available for President Trump's legal team to be participating, to ask questions, to have an actual fair process. And so this is why Trump said he's not going to be involved. By the way, Giuliani also gave the same answer to the House, not playing this game with you, not going to cooperate until you have an actual impeachment vote. So the Democrats changed one more rule, which now is they're essentially treating these private meetings, these closed-door hearings with a witness and one person in question, treating them as depositions, and they're actually this is allowing one attorney at a time to ask questions, and it permits the selective leaking, which they cannot wait to do. So they really, despite all of the American public's attention on how wrong this is and how out of control the Democrats are, they're still thinking they're going to push forward on this impeachment effort. I think it's very dangerous. I think that if you've been squawking to your member of Congress or your senator, keep squawking, keep talking, keep calling, because they really are not. They're not going to stop. They have too much of the very far left driven to get Trump out at any cost. And the Democrats can't figure out how to hold their base together without at least appearing to push forward on impeachment. One last thought on this, which is there was a hearing. Adam Schiff, who is really the head henchman, or maybe you want to call her Nancy Pelosi, she's the persecutor in chief. But, the team, the henchman, Adam Schiff is one of the major ones. He chairs the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. And they were the ones holding a closed door, not transparent hearing. In fact, I think it was to question this Fiona Hill person. Anyway, before the thing started, Schiff, who is chair of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, forced a Republican who doesn't happen to be on that committee, but he's on a very relevant committee. He's on the House Judiciary Committee. Florida Congressman Gates forced him to leave the room. The Democrats are not just keeping the American public out of the discussion, out of the impeachment effort. They're keeping the Republicans elected to serve you in Washington, the Republicans who would have a vote on impeachment. The Democrats are even saying that guy, even he, cannot be part of this hearing. Folks, these people are on a mission. They do not care what the evidence is. As I said many, many times, I'm going to say it again. Impeachment effort of the Democrat Party has nothing whatsoever to do with President Trump's phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky on July 25th. Nothing to do with it at all. This is just the Democrats' latest effort, which has been ongoing since before President Trump even took the oath of office in January 2017. Endless effort to get him out. Every other effort has failed. Democrats are desperate. They know he'll probably win in 2020, and they don't want to face that, so they're just trying to drive him out. I just think they have no idea how enraged the voters in America are who supported President Trump. Harking back to the most idiotic statement in the entire Democrat debate last night by Cory Booker, who actually said the line. I played it for you earlier if you happen to be listening. Played it for you earlier. He said that there needed to be have an impeachment process that was fair, that will help unite the American people. Truly delusional.